Anyway.
Oh, crazy.
Ah, well, hello then.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Long time no see, nobody. I kind of like it.
Yeah. Well,
sort of.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like our lifestyle, really, isn't it?
I made fucking jam. Who makes jam?
Don't worry. Yeah, I even cleaned, and I don't clean, but it's okay.
Oh, it's new for all of us, isn't it?
I know. I'm almost caught up on laundry like all the time.
We're so well prepared. I'm even cooking again, like shit. Only because I can't eat out as much.
But that's what it is.
Now someone's joining us.
I think that might be your sister. Is that your sister joining us?
Yeah, that's my sister.
Oh, good on her.
Very cool.
We'll hear if she's caught up on all her housework.
She's like, hang on, she's like, are you in there? Tan, I just woke up. I fell asleep on couch. Are you in there? Yeah, I'm in the portal with Alison and the other girl somehow. Hang on, where is she?
Yeah, she's all right.
Just
She's
say,
coming in.
yes, here.
She's just got to turn her video on. It's like her video's not on.
Turn video on and unmute.
This is the most entertaining one.
I'm just going to the bathroom.
Yes.
I might go and get myself some chocolate.
We go into the bathroom. Oh shit! I saw a clip the other day on a Zoom room that someone took their phone to the bathroom and put it down. And literally everyone was watching. She didn't realise. But that reminds me about the public toilet. I got caught out at. I locked the door, and I was just about squatting over the thing with my pants down my ankles, and boom, this lady's going, and I'm going, hey, and like, I'm in here. Next minute, she just kept going until she unlocked the door and opens it up and sees me standing there. Luckily, I'd had a waxing the day before, a few days before, and I was looking my best, so it didn't matter who saw me.
I'm listening.
Meanwhile, my husband's eating ice cream across the road. I was finger pointing at him, blaming him for everything, but I created this moment. Never mind. Entertainment. I have now been seen, in my glory. Did you find it?
I'm sort of sorry. I'm listening, and she's just sending me text. Her husband's trying to call.
Yep.
So yeah, she'll join when she's So I'll just look out for her. But anyway, keep going. All good.
We can. No, we're only talking toilets anyway. So
more shit.
I'm drinking.
Least, well, which goes with the theme this year, toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least it's back on the shelves.
Oh, I never I think I shared with you. Murray's always getting our sort of groceries. I don't do grocery shops as such, but we don't really go there much. I'm finding that everything that we go to, like I go to the whole food place and the health shop and the fruit shop and the, that's literally about it. And then we may get a few things from the grocery shop, but Murray's usually gets those. And but I've found it very easy to get in and out. I went shopping today. It took me a while, but I was just like, I was in no hurry. There's just like a couple of customers in every shop.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's eerie. There's like a weird eeriness about it when you go out and just watching people's reaction, pushing. And I kind of just laugh because we're so used to just bumping into each other, and now everyone's so aware, and they're like, and like, oh, okay, but yeah. I'll still be going out. I'll be honest, I have still been going out probably once daily to get food because I'm so fucking bored.
I don't find it eerie. I find it quite refreshingly me, actually. It feels like everything's slow and peaceful and spacious. And
I like that.
It's almost like, they've all come to play in this field. It's really, you know, and there's no hurry, and there's just when it happens, and it's, you know, kind of like that. And
what is it?
Yeah, what day is it? And I was going like, dude, that's been my life for quite some time. Welcome.
And sleeping in, I don't know if Gabrielle's sleeping in because she's got little ones, but
I do that. I've been doing that for quite some time.
I'm sleeping until like 9:30, 10, not getting out of bed till like 10.
Oh, good on you.
Days.
Delicious.
So nice.
So good.
But then I miss having little ones. So yeah.
Nah, that like 9 to 10, 8 to 10. All right, 5:30 in the morning to like 10 is when you can just go on electronics unsupervised. Walking the dog, that's later in the day. You know, mom will make us right when she gets up, but mom's just like, no reason to get up.
Nice, chill out.
Nice.
What about you, Cindy?
Sorry, I can hear something in the background, like I'm listening to a podcast as well.
Oh,
I don't know
good
what's
on you.
going on.
You're multi-dimensional living.
Yeah, you know, I'm not doing a lot. I have not. Yeah.
Nice.
It's unbelievable. Like I feel like I should be doing something, but I just cannot be bothered. And I read a really nice article that somebody posted, and it was about you don't need to be productive at this time. Like just relax. And I was like, it was almost like it gave me permission to be doing what I was doing or not doing. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. So today it was, and I feel guilty. I actually feel guilty because I don't have children. So I don't have to do anything. I just need to feed and water myself, and that's it.
Oh, it's an interesting realization about feeling guilty though for it.
Yeah. Well, I spoke to a friend and she's like, enjoy it. I've got 3 yelling children, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that was her resentment. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did go insane initially. I just became, and I'm not going to say I'm not obsessed with it, but yeah, I've let go of a little bit since, I don't know, maybe it was, I don't know what the days are. Maybe it was Tuesday I woke up. No, Wednesday I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm not completely obsessed with it at this point, where it was just every thought. I was like, this is just insane. This is too much. But yeah, so I'm kind of okay at this moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What did you find having so much time for your mind?
Well, prior to it, I was looping as well, and I was in this space where, and I had this conversation with Gabrielle. What do I feel, and what's everybody else telling me? I've had a double transplant, so I'm immune suppressed. So there's a lot of kind of, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, and so what's the responsible thing to do, and what do I feel is okay? And that was really confusing. Yeah. But I am really into like the meter and a half.
Yeah.
And I have told people to back off quite a few
Yeah.
times. And I know that's probably rude, but you know, stay away from me. Just during this time or any other time. But then I'm like, I can't wait to get out of this, and I haven't touched anybody in a long time. It's been weeks now, and I just want to touch someone, like hug them and just hold their hand or anything. Yeah, so I'm excited for this to be over, but at this point I'm like, back off everyone.
Okay, so obviously with your immunity and stuff, and it's a whole interesting playground, because that's your reality, and that's the reality of what's going on, and the fear base of kind of controlling those sort of spaces.
And sorry.
No, go for it.
It's just like, I just don't know what is responsible, like behavior. Like, I don't want to be reckless because I've been given this amazing gift, but then there's also just going over the top and it consuming me completely. And that's, you know,
hang on. We kind of cut out there.
Is that better?
Just speak. Yeah, oops, which she disappeared just like that. I said speak. You're back.
Hello?
Yeah,
hey.
yeah,
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
just was staticky.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we were talking about responsible and reckless, and the feeling. I think because you'd be one of a few that we get to discuss with more, immunity. What do they call it? There's a word for it. So well, you're in more of a
compromise.
high risk. Yeah, that's the word. High risk scenario. Taking it away from the actual virus stuff and the fear, all that stuff, and the reality of that, creating that, allowing that to play out there. But coming back to you, I'm curious about the words you use, the responsible and reckless. And then I think for me, and a feeling I get is, are you living or existing? Those sort of things. Questions of, I get the responsibility, I'm not denying, because that's what you've got, and that's a place of playing, and that's a definite core belief that's been installed upon us, of how we cope through these things. So there would be the fear-based of that responsibility. I'm just a bit curious. It's interesting that you've come to play tonight, because you're a great example to trigger my curiosity a bit more. I was speaking to someone today about high risk people or their, actually, and it's not just, that's one side of it. So there's people that are how we view life. So like at the moment, if you're listening to something and they've just got one side story going, like if you're looking media, you've got media side story going, and it's just a dominant side. I was saying, with this time and place that we're in now, even for anyone that's got any allergies or illnesses or whatever, we're in the stillness now to really look at ourselves and seeing how we tick and function. So for me, because I'm such a curious person, I'd be more curious in finding what other ways can we play, and get more interested in what's got us to this point, and can we go a different way from here. And so I'm using you as an example, but
I'd like some clarity on it, because torn. But I've been torn between the two of what I want to be doing, because I still go out every day. I probably still go to the supermarket, but I've got mask and gloves, and
Okay, so realistically, because we play in the world of if we could break it down into frequency, I'd be sweet. If we break it down into frequency, I would say, no matter what frequency it is that we're playing at, the emotional scale, if we're playing in a frequency of this space, without the fear base, our creation wouldn't attract that into our experience anyway. Do you know what? So if I was talking about, if I took it away from the actual virus and the actual immunizer, whatever, whatever, I can't even say the words. But if we took it away from the focus of that and we brought it back to more about what's going on with you, and I think this is what this whole time is about, which we're all missing.
Yeah.
So like even the word you used, responsible and reckless, where did that thinking even come, in a pattern in your being, in your knowing, to even create that, and where are those rules and regulations and lines, and where you've adopted before you even needed the transplants and stuff, because they're embedded there before that, and
fascinating.
Yeah, so.
And it's interesting that you say that, because I was like, oh, that's so prevalent in my life before I went inside. I was like torn between these two kind of worlds, and I feel like that's the way I play. Always. Yep. It's like, you know, yeah.
Well, that's a good example, though. That's a great reflection, because two worlds. What two worlds are you? You know, because there's a multitudes of worlds, really. A multiple amount of playgrounds. The two worlds that you're choosing to play in. If I asked you a question, when in life have you never been responsible? Oh, your mic's gone again. Your mic.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
They're breaking down. Sorry. I'd say a lot of the time I would label myself as being naughty, or I'd be irresponsible with myself and my feelings and the way I just have behaved.
Okay, so what's your belief around? So when have you been told you've been naughty?
It's just my judgment of myself.
Yeah, but tell me the earliest point that you can ever remember being naughty.
Probably. It would be very young.
Yeah. Can you
potentially could have been my grandmother. Yeah. When we were naughty, we got the Shiva, and we'd be told, which was a young stick, so you'd get smacked with the young stick. And so if we were naughty and it was labelled naughty, that's what would happen. So you'd be kind of punished.
So understanding now that, you know, even that, understanding now that probably in that naughty moment would have been probably something very much a childlike moment, that you were adventuring and doing something, and it probably was not really naughty at all in other perspectives of being, but naughty in a controlled environment of how people like to play. So whenever you adopted that aspect, there's where sits the responsibility memory. Do you see what I'm saying? So those sort of things come into piece, that because the reality is you're probably always responsible, but you don't see yourself as responsible because you're forever looking where you're naughty, because naughty is a dominance playground, and it's told you off, and that's where and that's kept you in line, and you feel you're in, you know, that's about a judgment of behaviour, which comes back to judging self and the critiquing stuff. So I think that those sort of things, like flipping back to your that early day has even brought you to this day. So even you thinking that, look, honestly, I think as much as you're compromised, I think I could imagine you going with gloves and doing all your bits and pieces and bits and pieces. So you're doing everything you can.
But the reality is, I actually don't think I'll get it.
Well,
like I'm so
okay, so here's my contrast. That's perfect. Yeah. Okay, so here's my contrast. The reality is, I don't think I'll get it.
No, I don't have any fear around getting it.
This is you're a great example for what I'm trying to show humans. So what we're saying is that the reality is, I don't think I'll get it on one hand. So on the other, next hand, we'll go out and we'll dress ourselves and we'll mask ourselves and we'll protect ourselves for the fear of that we what's the reason? Yes, you're gone again. Static.
Sorry.
No.
Better?
Yeah. So it just must be some loose wire.
Yeah. I've just ordered some new earphones. So it's just a behaviour that I've taken up as just in case. It's like, you know.
Yep. Okay, so perfect example, just in case.
Yeah, so you take a box. Oh, sorry.
So you tell me that in reality, I don't feel I'm going to get it. No. But what I'm showing you, that on a subconscious level of your true being and your authentic self, is showing you that you're dressing for the occasion just in case. So you're not totally convinced, so that now you've opened up the opportunity of the possibility of it playing out. I'm not telling you not to go and dress up and do that, because where you're playing from at this point in time is exactly what it's reflecting. But what I'm trying to get away from the virus story and bring this is the two different stories that you talked about being torn in two different worlds. It's two different stories and two different actions. words and actions aren't in the same playground.
No.
So that's what this.
Sorry, can you just say that again? Words and actions aren't in the same playground.
Yeah. So they're functioning from two different realities. So that brings, and so when you got two different frequencies, you get different contrasts, right? So it can't be, and it plays out differently.
I actually had this conversation with Gabrielle recently. I was feeling really sad about something, and she said, I was like, oh, I'm totally fine about a relationship or whatever. And I suddenly had this grieving for it. And she said, this is the first time you've actually been authentic about it. And I was actually in touch with it. But I was totally fine about breaking up with the person. But there was a sadness about losing the friendship, I think, that I didn't want to admit. So it was, I was playing in a different ground to where I actually was. So I was saying one thing, but I was feeling another.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So now you're seeing, so what I'm saying is we've used your oh God, I can't even say it. So I'm just so far from the field. I'm going to have to write it down, whatever, immune compromised scenario through the virus. Now we're using this as an example, reflecting back to the core of your true being. And this is what the gift of what the virus is doing to many, but they won't see it. And so what it's bringing out in you is, and you hit it right at the beginning, but you didn't understand it. You're torn between two worlds. The world of actual how you're functioning deep within is speaking one way, thinking another. So it's not authentically playing in alignment in its whole being.
Yes, spot on.
So when you don't do that, the contrast of life comes in many ways. You know? And so that all the things, and that's where you're going, because that you look at the contrast and you've got responsible and reckless. They're all playgrounds. I'm not saying you've got you're not, you actually believe that you're okay, but I'll go and dress this way. It's not actually denying it. I'm dressing this way because it's advised for me to be this, but I feel okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, until you get to a point where you're just fully in one space going, actually, I'm okay, and walk out there and do your thing. But I'm not advising you to do that, because at the moment, it'd be a manifestation of creation of probably not a great space for you to play in, because you're still living to not fully 100%, I'd say, in your fullest whole being in a good frequency. I'm talking if we were creating from a frequency value. And this is what I've been saying all along. I think I shared with Gabrielle, and I shared with what I'm seeing the viruses in reflection to ourselves is that there's many people out there selling a story, well, not selling a story, they actually tell a story, and they've got lots of good things going on and stuff, and speak very nicely and do all these lovely things. And yes, we all have reactions, I'm not denying that. Yet when that, at the moment, the virus has created extreme reaction, which is people aren't adapting and adjusting. Well, it's not even needing to adjust, but they just aren't open to just being calm and amongst it all. You know what I mean? Like, and to me, that's getting a real true reading of where the human is being, and we're functioning one way for society, and then we say yes, and we could be praising like self-work and love and all this sort of stuff, and then something will happen and it'll go, shit, no, actually I'm going to lock myself in a friggin' house because I believe this is what's going on. And and I'm probably not the best person to be looking at the moment, because as Murray says, he gets asked, oh, what are you guys doing? And we're actually doing exactly what we were doing before, and we're doing it right now. I still go out for my coffee. I still, but in fairness to say, I probably don't see it. Like I said, you're standing in line at the moment, and there's one here, and there's one here, and there's one wherever. And you're going into shops now, and there's only two in a shop and stuff. So that's slightly different, but it's not stopping me, and I'm not locking myself in. And we're not probably, I don't know. I just think it's very much, my day feels very normal. I didn't see a lot of people at home, and I was at home anyway. So I'm used to this. People are going, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, frick, I pull my day out with doing nothing. Like, shit, you know. It's kind of like, but it's because they're so busy. And now they'll get all their housework done in a couple of days, and they'll get everything up to speed. And, you know, come next week when they're in lockdown or whatever, they'll be thinking, Jesus, now what? And I'll be still thinking about, shit, I could do this and I could do that. And I've still got that book to write, and I've still got this to do. But shit, here's a quote. I'm going to do that. You know, so I think, I just think that's what the virus is reflecting, and through your story, even though it's like compromised in the probably not so enjoyable playground. That's just a choice too, because at the end of the day, you're saying you're enjoying aspects of whatever. So it's only. But I think it's a great example that if you can take a look at it, and amongst all this is going on, but come back in here and see where I'm actually authentically living and pumping from. You can start making those shifts. You know, what if this new whole, you know, space and place, and because you know what I'm like, manifest, create, believe anything can be possible. You can shift. At the moment, I watched something randomly came on, and that's like you know, shifting the acidity in your DNA just by thought, which is exactly where I played many years ago. Fucking thought is everything, you know, like, dude, just so now it's coming out with science evidence. But imagine doing that, and people are now, you know, we're shifting into this mode where people know that they can start changing their DNA and cell stuff. Well, what can you do with your whole body? Like, instead of you being programmed into, it's just giving us the space to really self-inquire and make a decision on how you want to play. I've rambled heaps, and
no, I love it. I love it.
No. I've just got, and I mean it must, and I find it very funny that it's I'm struggling even with connecting an issue with you, because I don't see an issue with you, and so that's where I find, I think the words I'm struggling to use, the words they just can't fucking come out, because I can't see that being your issue. I don't. No, to me your issue is you're not fully fucking living who you truly are as you are, and loving that person for being just that, you know. Exactly. That's the only issue I have, you know. And I can say that freely.
And I think that's it, you know. I am torn between what I think is right and what I actually want to do, and then being able to trust myself in my decisions, like backing myself.
And again, I think it's even easier if it's because you're too deep in your head and you're thinking. Well, that's my judgment. Anyway.
No, that's so true.
And for me, it would be, oh, look, you're a classic example for fucking most, you know, humanity. Like, don't beat yourself up. If there's fucking 99% of the rest of the world are probably living in the same boat. But you know, and I visit there. So, but I think once you get in your head, it's like, okay, now. It's catching those moments when you're too busy in there. Yeah,
it's kind of like a loop.
Okay. Well, let's go with the loop. So why have you named it a loop?
Just because it goes round and round.
So name it something else instead of as a, you know.
That was a new word for me.
Okay. I wouldn't probably give it. I wouldn't probably give it a word personally, because then it allows it to play in that arena. But I just say whatever visits you. Then you allow how much attention you want to give it, and then you play in it as much as you want to play in it, and then decide, you know, like, okay, this is I could go down here and beat myself up, but am I enjoying this? Yes. Am I not enjoying it? No. Well, I'll do something else.
And I think another part of it is I feel like I'm so influenced by others. Like somebody will say, oh no, you can't do this, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I can't do that, or whatever. So that's a whole different thing, though. That's a lack of trust.
Same, different. You know, it's a lack of self-belief and a lack of self-value and a lack of self-worth. Once you can't, you know, at the end of the day, it's pleasing others also, keeping other people happy, or do you actually want to take any responsibility? That might be a question you might want to ask. Because look, a lot of people like to play without having to fucking think, oh shit, no, I'll just do that, because that's just frees me up from having any responsibility at all.
Yeah, yeah.
But don't take it too seriously. That's the whole thing. You know what it's like. Have a cup of tea. Have a cup of tea and a piece of chocolate, and enjoy that moment. And, But I think it's a great discussion. I'm going to open it up because I've rambled a lot. But I think it's a great discussion, because I think it's the gift of what this whole thing outside of us is reflecting back to us.
Yeah, I saw this. Sorry.
No, I was going to butt in, but I just want to say I appreciate you sharing this aspect, because it's huge, really.
I feel so calm now. Thank you. I saw this beautiful thing. I don't know what her name was. It was on YouTube, and it was like a thanking Corona for this, and one was the opportunity for us to feel, because we so often suppress, and it was like, so fear is just so prevalent now, but we get to feel it, so it's cool. So then we can, hopefully, feel it and let it go, which I thought was really beautiful. Anyway, okay.
Okay, I'm going to open it up, because I'll let you all have a go, and what you've taken, or what you want to add, or go for it, or nothing. Michelle, what do you got there?
Can you hear me okay? I'm testing my son's headphones. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So gaming's on.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, what is it?
Now I got to clear my throat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to share a little story. It was about acidity and alkalining and feeling. And it's just a little story of Greg came home from work yesterday, and he's mostly been in the office working by himself, with everyone else working from home. But he had another coworker in there yesterday who was like super freaked out about everything that's going down. So Greg's pretty calm, but he came home, we walked in the door, and he's like, yeah, so I need a drink. So I want to do some vodka. I was like, way to go, buddy. Do what you need to do. But later on, when I got to bed, he was still awake, and he was struggling, and he was just like, I just feel like I'm going to throw up. And I was like, when I have stuff come up, like when I'm meditating and I've found that something yucky in myself that I'm dealing with and working on, it's like my simple hack, but it's just bicarb soda. It's also traditional and old as fuck. But, and a glass of water and drinking it, and it just,
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, okay, please make me some. I can always tell it's working for me, because you'll burp afterwards, and it's a classic. It alkalines you, He came out with some of the most, he's probably out there listening to me tell the story, ripper burps. I mean, and I was like, it sounds like you're birthing a dragon. Like, what's going on? But just that, of the layers of fear and emotion, how it affects our body, how we take care of our bodies, how we process it, how we come back and listen to just those feelings, and that veil of if you feel it and you're storing it in your body, and also listening to our bodies and how we take care of it. So I feel like there's a lot of that going on right now.
Yeah, I'm a bit of an apple cider fanatic for similar reason. Same, different. Yeah.
Good medicine.
Yeah, not that we really need it, but obviously in my belief system, I probably do. But that's okay.
Cool.
Tanya.
I'm just enjoying listening, to be honest. I haven't virus. I honestly feel, if anything, I don't feel any different. However, I have been, my husband says that I've become a lot more blunt, probably a lot more assertive, and he even thinks that sometimes I'm mean to him. but I don't mean to be mean to him, and maybe I need to be working more. But I don't know, maybe I feel a bit of anger, and I don't know where that anger is coming from, whether I'm angry because I've always been a person who feels everything, and now I'm kind of not feeling anything. So I don't know what that even is. That's all I've got to say.
Did you say you're feeling angry? No.
I'm feeling a bit of anger, but apart from that, lately I'm just really not feeling anything like this.
Yeah. No, I know that feeling.
It's like I feel like I'm actually in a void at the moment. There's no overexcitement. There's no
come join me
sort of sadness. There's nothing going on.
No,
I can't explain it. It's not sad. It's not bad.
No. I'm totally know exactly what you feel and what you do and what you say. Sorry.
Yes. No. You go. So this is a whole new feeling for me, because I don't know. I spoke to one of my friends today, and she goes, "Oh, you're so caring." And I'm like, "No, I think I used to be caring, but I don't care I don't. I wouldn't say I don't care.
You're not attached. For me, it's not an attachment to
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you're not attached to the caring. You care, but it's okay. Irrespective of what's going to happen, it's okay.
Yeah. An example of something that happened tonight. So, I made some jams, and Cade's been home with me for 5 weeks. So he wasn't well before the virus. So, and he's very content and happy, just doing his own thing, never complains. And then we didn't sell our house, so I kind of accepted that wasn't going to happen because no one's buying at the moment. So we tried to refinance, and we're approved on there's conditions, so conditionally approved. And Chris got off the phone, and he's like, "Oh, we're conditionally approved." And I said, "Oh yeah, well, we'll wait and see when that happens." And he goes, "Why don't you give me more than that? Like, you're meant to be. Why aren't you excited?" I said, "What? I'm not excited because it hasn't happened. So I'm not going to get excited, just like I wasn't overly excited when we thought we were going to sell a house because it never sold. And if I had got excited, you know what I mean? I probably would have let myself down."
I think what you're saying is you're living probably a fairly presently without the reactions. And I find when you're more, for me, this is a personal experience for me. When I'm living, I don't have highs and lows as such. And I can have something exciting coming up, like going to some of the amazing concerts in New Zealand that I went to before, and I just didn't feel anything. I just felt very much, and there was no, it was just another day. And when you got there, you switched into enjoying and stuff. But the highs and lows aren't highs and lows like they were, because there's no attachment to the experience anymore. I think once you get detached from the experience, you can partake without the emotional draining, with attachment comes a whole lot of emotional stuff. Like I think once you get outside,
there's no emotion to it. And I went past, I watched, I've been rewatching some old videos of our Zoom, and I watched my vulnerability one, and I didn't judge it. Usually I just went, fuck, why did you react to that? Like, what even was that all about? So now I've seen it even in the job that I'm doing now. There's no reaction. So I'm staying at my job because, switched off. And I don't feel like I have to, like I always felt like when I was in a group, I had to be talking. Just now I can just sit back and go, And I don't know whether it's blasé or it's a bit vague. I don't even know what that is anymore. But sometimes I feel like there's nothing in here. There's not much going on in here at the moment.
I think that's, but isn't that
boring? I don't know what it is.
Isn't that what most people want? Is to have that clarity? People go into meditation for that state. You're getting it in an everyday living, and that's the art: is to be in full meditation every day, living without even having to try to get there.
I'm not seeing it as I don't know. I don't feel like it. I am I don't know what it is. Like I'll get up in the morning and I'll be, please just let me have my coffee in peace. Like I don't want to talk like the dogs. Off you go, Kate. I just want to have my coffee in peace. So I don't know whether I don't know. I don't know what it is. So to me, I don't know if it's meditative. I thought would always be like, but I'm happy, but I'm not all the time. Like
but what's your attachment to happy in the perspective of a point of getting there when you already are it? Do you know what I mean? Like that's to me, it's like,
because I always thought I had to put it. I probably always thought I had to put a face on to always be happy to please others. That's probably like I had to do it to make other people feel happy. But then I'm okay, like if I'm just sitting there and haven't got a big smile on my face.
My question would be, do you feel that you still have to make people happy as you did before?
No.
So you can just turn up, sit down, and if you choose to participate, you can. If you don't, it's okay too. And they're both the same feeling.
Yes. Yeah.
I'd be pretty happy in that space, but the only thing is if you're thinking and questioning it, then there's your issue. That's more to be with everything. It's more about but you're thinking there's more or there's thinking there's less, and that's when you start creating almost what Cindy talks about, a loop. Do you know, you go back into it and then you go round and you pop out and you go back into it. How best describes the way I live. I've got no idea, because I don't know till I wake up in the morning, really. And there's still things that happen during the day. If I've, like today I went and got veggies and stuff, that was probably what I was thinking I would do, and I did do. Yet if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have done it. I don't have a point of a need. I don't have a point of a need to achieve.
Yeah. Or even like, you don't have a routine. So I don't have a routine.
No.
Husband goes, maybe you need a routine, because I'm like, I just do whatever I want.
But some people thrive off routines, and if it works for you, hey, go do it. My thing is, why do I need a routine? What am I trying to fit into?
Well, yeah.
But the thing is, the weirdest thing happens is like, I happen to be home at that particular moment when those particular people came to drop the key off. I happen to be at that particular spot when that particular person was there, and that was exactly what I needed to be doing. I have no agenda or nothing. I just turn up, present to the moment, and I feel this way, and it's the excitement, and you still have the love and the care and the stuff you feel when you're people. I'm not denying that, but you're okay with it, and you're okay without it.
So is that maybe that sort of what's the anger feeling? I feel like what's that little bit of anger that I'm.
So what are you observing your reaction to make you angry? What's your trigger?
When I'm in my own little zone, and someone might say something, or maybe want me to be like, well, I want you to be like.
No one can make you be.
But anything. No, I'm not. You want me to be like that, but I'm not like that. I don't know.
But if you've got a reaction to that, then there's still something there that's not come to peace with, and you're still.
So usually, like tonight, I stopped it really quick, but then I felt it. My husband still, like his face was getting really red, but I just was like, I'm just watching the news with my glass of wine, just watching the news. And then, my reactions don't last very long.
So husband and wife stuff, because I can do that in reflection to how I play with Murray. And
but you're so happy. My husband's always happy and chilled and contented, and
but that's our story. I'm sitting there and I'm trying to look at me, just like Murray and I have the other day I took him out and it was a bit longer and he needed to be back at work, and I was aware when he hopped in the car his temperament changed and his whole thing, and then I started going in to soften it, and then I thought, come back out of there, I'm not safe. And then the funny thing is he was slightly frustrated, and we ended up going further and longer to get home because he took the wrong turn and stuff, and I'm kind of okay. And then, but the funny thing is we pulled up and at the lights, and this kid was going fucking such and such, and he had a big brace on his face.
Oh wow!
And he's walking along thing, and I was going, wow, isn't that interesting? The vibe match that we've got going on.
Wow.
Here, and he's listen to this dude. He's swearing like anything, and then we get to the next set of lights, and he goes, God, we've had a good day, really, haven't we? Yeah. Yeah. So I bet old me would have walked around on glass to keep that happy.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So that's the point of difference, and I'm not fearful of that because, and I'm not about pleasing that. And we can talk about it now. Okay, this is the day I stood up.
My shoulders just went poof. They've been.
The day I stood up to that, I think I've shared with the story many times over, and with you guys, and literally I was not keeping that peace in, and I was allowing what was his and what was mine, and I wasn't getting angry. I was going, hang on, whose is this really, and what is this? And it was all about him and his work and his clients and his bits and pieces. And I often used to say it just to trigger a question. I go, gosh, maybe I need to buy a horse. I'd be treated better than you treat your wife. Like, you know, I used to joke and things like they don't even come into conversation now. But that's the phases that I went through and the trigger points, and they got less and less and less and less and less because I stopped doing that. We play walking around in class to keep everyone's peace. Yeah. But the person can't deal with it because we are addressing, and we see them as what we think they're going through. We've got no idea, but we think they're going through. So we think we can soften it by, we'll just have the tea made at this time and make this easy and make this easy and make this easier. And that should come without even thinking and even planning or even trying. That should be just, if we're in a good space, that should just be like, and it wouldn't matter if he turned up and there was no tea, because it just doesn't matter. But, you know, and that's and that's definitely a space that we've moved into. But same when Tyler came home, there was an adjustment of energy because he's coming in and he's got a different fear factor and he's got a different story and a reality, and we've got all this. And so give it, the drive home, and the energy's like, and you're like, and funnily enough, Murray had bought a goal and they put up a goal and stuff. So then happiness energy comes and appreciation energy comes. How much is that emotion at a frequency scale? This is what I mean. We all worked on frequency and worked out that we're functioning energy and understood energy, and realized once we sorted that out, it's not a hard game at all. There are so many theories and bits and pieces at the moment, yes, and they all are realities. I'm not denying that. Let them all play.
So can I ask a question about, so with this whole the virus thing, do you feel that since this has happened you've made contact with more people, or are you just the same?
Same.
Okay, yeah, because I started feeling that guilty, like, why aren't I? So I had friends contact me today. Oh, I miss you, I love you. But I'm thinking, geez, I'm not actually ringing them or texting them, which in the past, which is past is gone, but I used to always do that. So I'd always be texting.
So you've just been shown where you were and where you're at now. That's all it is. That's got nothing to do with them. It's just showing.
Because I feel more at peace now than before. So I think what it is, I've learnt that it's okay that I don't need anyone to fill my cup.
Yeah, there's your attachment theory, which we were talking about attachments before.
I feel like I do it now. Yeah, because I felt like I had to have other people and I needed them to fill my cup or to make me feel something that was missing within myself. And now I'm like...
The funny thing is, though, now that you've got that, you're looking for, am I meant to be, I haven't got that feeling of whatever. So you've actually shifted into a whole different reality playground, and now your body's going, but am I meant to be playing this way, or am I meant to be playing that way? Instead of just going, I'm happy here, drinking my cup of tea, I'm not denying.
If others aren't, then that's got nothing to do with me.
Only if it's affecting you.
No, I think that's starting to go. It's still there a little bit.
Okay, so did you just hear what you said? So now let's be authentic with ourselves. We've done it with Cindy tonight, so let's slap Tanya in. So your words were something like, I don't know, but the contrast I'm seeing is you're telling yourself one story and you're living another story. So you want those two, and they're very minute things. They just want to tweak to the same story. And when you get into, when someone says, and this is the thing about being authentically honest with ourselves, is like not denying this and trying to cover it with a made up story that sounds like I'm dealing with it, but it's not actually fully dealing with it. So the difference of things is very minute, and the only thing that gave it away is because you didn't say yes, you know.
Yeah.
You went down.
I was aware of it, and I was aware of it.
I know. I saw you pick it up.
Yeah.
I said, like, dude, I can see you picking it up. But there's that awareness and that honesty, and going, oh, actually, I have got this. Obviously, and as soon as you do that, automatically, there's nowhere for it to go anymore. There's no story. There's no playground. There's nothing you can hide behind. This is me. Yes, I did that. You know, I did something like stirred Murray up tonight. Did something, got some soup or something, and I didn't even know. I said something, and then I looked at him thinking, that could have been taken the wrong way. And Tyler goes, "Were you stirring Dad up?" And I went, "No." And then I went, but it could have come across that way. And, just admit it. Don't deny it, and don't make a story of it, and don't bypass it. But he totally could have. And maybe I did it without even being fully aware. Subconsciously, I was.
Yeah.
Ellie, can I just say, when you sideline it, it's like you actually are hiding it from yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I think we had an incident with you as well early on that we talked about. The fear thing. I think we discussed last time. With the virus thing, and you're pretty convinced that you had no fear, and yet you were isolating yourself. So, there's a contrast, saying one thing, living another.
That's awesome.
I know. Oh, the perfect example. The perfect, but beautiful, because I can share it with you, and you can make a decision and choice, and you shifted it that fast. Whereas I could share it with someone else, and they'll still go back and play in that game, but tell the same story. Yeah.
And it's almost like you have to, watching yourself getting smart.
It's just, we're the only person we're following is ourselves, nobody else. Like, seriously. Yeah. And then the world shows us. That's what's ridiculous. Life shows us. Contrast everything that how we speak and say and be. And any
so that shows up all the. So sometimes I not forget about it, but okay, because if I, which doesn't matter what anybody thinks, but if I said that to some people, they'd be like, "What?" Some of my friends are starting to get it, but some of them are like, "Oh my God." So they're like, "Ooh, keep away." And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But okay, so that always plays up. Okay. Yeah.
It's resonating with you. I just want to, I know I'm going to throw this way back, but right at the beginning, Cindy had static and stuff in her mic and it playing up. And I'd written it down in between discussions. I forgot to tell you, Cindy, that the hearing and the stuff that's going on with your mic is a real reflection of the two, torn between two things. You don't want to hear, but you do want to hear. You want to speak, but you don't want to speak. And that was being shown to me through your mic. Okay, so but the beautiful thing about that is you're getting a new one. So that means that you're shifting. I just as a symbology and reflection. That's I just now I can cross that off. It's been annoying me.
I just wanted to say, while I was sitting here thinking about, why am I wearing a mask and things like that, and gloves, and I thought, for me, this is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's going to rain, I'll take an umbrella.
Yep.
So I feel that's why I'm wearing it. It's not because I'm scared of getting it. Well, I don't want to get rained on. If that makes sense. If it's raining outside,
I think it's a good story.
I think it's pretty good. I like it.
I like it, and it's a lot more smoother than probably what you began with. But I think the beautiful thing about it, and look on it, and the honest thing is, wear your mask and wear your gloves and be done with it, and don't freaking think another thing of it. Just do you, and don't worry. But I want to give you an insight to what the mask and the gloves are showing you.
Oh, tell me.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. So you said I can go out wearing a mask, but what do you do to people? What are you doing in the two worlds? Presenting yourself one way, and then wearing a mask.
Got to take that mask off.
So
that's awesome. I love it.
So symbolically, it plays in a match of how you play. So awareness in that, be entertained by the fact that you have a right to wear a mask at the moment, like just be entertained by it, and don't get caught up in it, whether it's right or wrong. At this point in your life, it's serving a purpose. Will it be needed? Not necessary. But with your environment stimulant and how everything is, it's advisable to play that way. And when functioning from a frequency, it's probably advisable to play that way. Would I do it? I don't know, because I'm not playing that way.
Yeah, cool.
And don't feel it's right or wrong. That's the big thing.
Oh no, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Like I had issues with it initially, but now I'm like, I'm okay that I'm doing it because that's what I've decided to do. Yeah.
Yeah, just do you. Just you.
Yeah.
And don't give it a story. God, if anything, you've probably got more reason to wear a mask than probably half the other people that are wearing them, so don't worry about it.
It's been such an interesting process, the whole mask thing, and it started with the bushfires. So yeah, it's interesting, and it's probably, when all this stuff has kind of come up for me as well. Well, I've noticed that it's come up for me. It's probably always been there.
Well, I think the mask itself is an interesting playground in 2020, and as you know, I put out that thing, 2020, where shit gets real. And the reason for that quote was...
We're going to walk around with those T-shirts on.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to totally advocate for me. No, the reason about those quotes is that the quote itself, I got the lady to do the toilet paper for a bit of tongue-in-cheek fun, because everyone was after toilet paper. But the reality is, good witch. The reality of the line itself is where shit gets real. That my thing about it is where people really authentically have to take a look at themselves and how they are reacting, who they're pretending to be on one place, well, not pretending, who they're playing on one place and thinking they're playing on another, and they're not fucking aligned at all. And that's been the biggest sharing thing, that is the gift of this, but no one, not no one, because there are people that want to own it, but that's, if we all could look at that and go, oh my gosh, this is what I'm saying and doing, and this is, this is what I'm being, and this, there is the difference, like the mask, and then you think about it, the fires were a mask, this is a mask. And so wouldn't it be great if the masks are being ripped off in 2020?
Yeah. Well, there's definitely lots of opportunities for it to happen. Oh, yeah. Anyway, beautiful.
Yeah. Gabrielle, do you want to, where are you sitting? At home. Wow.
I was just feeling into I was actually just thinking about one of the quotes. I was thinking about my mum just then, and I was thinking about what's played out with her this week, and I was thinking about a quote that you had said last week, Ali, about when you have an attachment to life, life will always show you, or something to that extent. And just what's been playing out with my mum this week, and I was, before I came on here, I was contemplating what is it about my mum that I'm attached to.
Nice. What was it? Do you know?
Well, I was like, I feel, what I got, and I'll feel into where this feels right, was that, this is it.
I love it.
We all need one of those buttons.
It's like the world feels safer with my mum in it, in a physical. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. That would be a lot of people's. Yeah. and you as a mother as well for children. So there's your attachment through that, the same
Yeah.
playground.
Yeah.
And
Particularly when I walked in on Patty smothering Oscar.
as they do. I just want to love you so much. Oh no, you got to breathe.
Yeah, I don't know if there was love involved. Anyway.
Just a different perspective. Yes. And what is love? Yes. Yeah, I think nice attachment awareness. Reflectively knowing we can share an understanding of that, and I think when you come to peace with just playing life and it's being part of life, but having life as the experience and not the attachment. Nothing's separate from yourself, so therefore whether they're here or not here makes no difference, because it's the same thing. And you don't see, because really it's the body is the illusion, isn't it, really? Our physicalness and whatever, because there's so much more. And so that's where I've been very comfortable. I mean, it'd be great to have Dad around physically and partaking and stuff, but I'd never feel him. I feel him closer now dead than I did alive, which I've shared before. And I think that's something that we kind of don't embrace, and we see that's when, I don't know whether that comes from when you start working on yourself. For me personally, is not seeing myself separate to anyone, and not that keep work without even realizing it. I must have kept working on looking at everyone as me, everything as me, coming to peace with everything around me and all that sort of shit, however I did it. But that's the whole thing, is that makes it very peaceful. People say, what if you're stuck in Australia? I think she did. When you're stuck in Australia and you can't see it, that was interesting. Sorry, I was just noticing my actions. Don't see your kids or grandkids again. And I said, I would be pissed off, but I'd be okay with it. So it's, again, there's the authenticity of owning it, and not just saying, oh no, I'm okay with it. No, I'd be pissed off.
You said like it's losing the attachment, but it's almost like a letting go and an acceptance. Yeah.
Well, but you think about it on a bigger scheme of thing. That's everything, though. Like everything that comes into our life, and when it's not having that attachment, you come into our house at the moment, and there's, Jesus, we had to find some stuff for Tyler to bloody sleep on because he came home and we'd given away all the stuff, and so then and we actually, Murray and I joked, geez, we're really getting down to the last bits and pieces, because we've just got enough to have extra bedding, because I gave them all as bedding because they're waiting on their container full of stuff. So it's kind of all those funny things, and just shows there's no attachment there. And but it's funny because Vanessa walked into the house last week and she said, whoa, the energy and the feeling in the house, and that was because there's nothing in the house really, and she could just feel, obviously I'd say, yeah, feel the painting energies, isn't it fucking amazing, because I'll make a good story out of that, but that she'll walk into that, and then she'll but for her it was very liberating because of whatever she was going through, and having seen us live so simply with very minimal, and it felt so good, so she went home with a whole different headspace. So and obviously perfectly timed for her to attract that at that particular moment. So that's what I mean. It's no plan of timing or anything. It's just knowing. Well, it's funny. I said, wouldn't it be great now to move amongst this chaos? Like while everyone's playing in this field of all stay home, we'll shift. We'll move into some freaking other house or do something. Wow. Just out there left field, go, let's go interstate. Wow. But it's just having that freedom of space and that non-attachment, and then we're very lucky. Like I said, Murray still got work, so that's good. And there's, look, here's a contrast for you. So you're talking frequencies and you want to make a story and whatever, but the vibration of hugs, like how to hug someone, what it does to your body on an scale. And to get outside and stand outside, or be in fresh air, and everything that's been told not to do is actually benefits your body. The contrast of that's really interesting in itself, and it's like, I don't know. Anyway, that's just another, a good sideline story of a way to look at things.
Because we went up to my son and we took the dogs up. I contacted the Mornington Peninsula Shire and said, well, is there any beaches that I can go to for a walk? And they said, all beaches closed except for the back beaches from Cape Schanck to Flinders. Cape Schanck to Portsea. So we ended up going down to Cape Schanck, and my son's like, Mum, we shouldn't be doing that. I said, no one's telling me that I should not be going out in nature. And I said, well, I'll hide my car somewhere. And then I kind of almost felt guilty, and I thought, well, you know what? No, I'm not. But anyway, there was no access for dogs. They weren't allowed even on there at all. So we ended up coming back home. But tomorrow I'm going to drive, and there's a little section that in Cape Schanck that you can go. So I'm just going to take my son and there are still other people, because that's fresh air and that's exercise. And kind of
I think actually, Tanya, just before you, I've actually read somewhere that you can walk they've put something on the Peninsula page tonight about walking your dogs on the beach but not staying there, so it's been recorrected, so have a look before. Interesting that you went to hide your car and then no, I'm not going to do that. So as you see those little contrasts that come in, and we get a choice to, how are we going to mask ourselves, or are we going to do this, or are we going to, like that, they're always there, and with our choices in just different ways in different places. But I think they've opened. It just happened to pop up tonight, so maybe that's for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I need that beach. I think it's the biggest thing because that's the only thing, I catch up with a couple of friends and stuff, but that's the best, Yeah, the beach. It's really.
Yeah. Look, honestly, and play it your way. I don't. I'm not too hooked into it. I just, at the moment, life feels like it's slowed down to my pace, and everything's very much the way I kind of like it. And it's just, people are happy amongst this. Like, you're actually getting, I'm meeting some happy people, and we were just saying, people are looking at you and saying g'day, and lady out with a dog, and we stopped and had a yak with her as we drove off the other day, and we were a bit ignorant. I knew it kind of, it got stepped up, but Murray didn't realise we were at whatever level we were at, and Tyler goes, oh my God, Dad, that's why I came home. So we're a bit ignorant because we're just playing as it is. But any of you guys want to chat about anything? Because I'm kind of dictating all the ramble at the moment. But go, Michelle.
I wouldn't mind.
Go, Michelle. Doing the fly.
You were doing the fly. I thought, this is hands up, baby, hands up.
Landing on my face. Over you, Gabrielle.
Sorry, Gabrielle, go for it.
I just wanted to pick up this. So you said before, Ali, with the boys, because this is something that I've been kind of mindful of a little bit lately with Paddy and Oscar, particularly with Paddy when it feels like he wants my attention, so he gets it via Oscar.
Yeah. Wow, they work at he's intelligent.
Oh, completely. But I'm like, yeah. What do I want to say? I'm mindful of when he, like, sometimes he triggers me and I don't even catch myself, and I'm, treating him like he's my brother and I'm punching him back.
Yep.
But when I do catch it, and I don't necessarily react straight away, and maybe the other mums have some comments about this, but I'm really not sure about how to manage it, or how to respond to him, or I can feel my heart again.
Yeah. So go there, because that's what it's teaching you.
Mhm.
Oh,
Feel that.
oh.
I love how she processes it though.
Yes, it's yeah.
It's just like,
Oh,
okay, so if you're feeling into that,
yeah.
allow that. So it's already gone, but you can elaborate for those that are watching what the process you felt and allowed through.
I just felt a really big feeling in my heart.
Amazing.
And when I connected with it, it actually just felt like pure love. It's just like,
yeah, you want to give him as much as you want to give everyone else, and so whatever you're thinking, even that you're not giving him that attention, so as soon as you think you're not giving him enough attention, he's got to play that out to show you that.
yeah. God. I feel like I'm on 24/7.
Welcome to motherhood. The best way to screw with your head.
And enjoy every little moment of them.
Yeah,
right
it
now
changes.
is the best at this end.
There's no right way or wrong way. Just find a way that works for you, and
God.
yeah. God, every kid wants attention. But then again, I think just in that awareness, you've recognized that maybe you thought you weren't, and maybe you even embedded a thought before Oscar came along of being, I want to make sure I got, time for him, and I, and that's just, that's superseded subconsciously, that just does not come to peace in your being, and that's just playing out now.
I actually feel like that's true, Ali, because I feel like that's true.
And that could come down to however you've been brought up. I was brought up in an environment of make sure they're both treated equal, and we had literally had the same clothes, the same this and the same that, all the way through. And because they wanted to make sure, and I went into doing the same thing with my kids, and it took me a long time to jump out of that ship.
Yeah.
Just an environment stimulant too. So something that may have been triggered before, and wherever you thought, wherever that's come from, it might not even be your thinking, but you've adopted that.
Yes. And I think a whole story about it's hard when actually it's not, it doesn't need to
be. As hard as what we make it. It's a good story. And sometimes you say, then you retell your story, and it's liking to be hard, you want to have a better story than someone else because it's that much harder. I've had it that much harder. And then you get into that, and it's like, fuck, don't go down there. Don't go down there, because it's just going to get worse. And they're going to be, and which we do as humans. Someone's always got to have a better story, especially me and my husband. I do. But we joke about it, but, we catch ourselves. So you got a better story. Or do you have to have the last say? Does that give you some sort of feeling? But we do, it's just until you become aware about it and you're honest with yourself about it, you won't even recognize you're doing it. Oh God, you all look spaced out now. Michelle, you're sitting there like the most alert bubble. What have you got to share with us tonight?
Oh, I've just been enjoying it. I've been in joy a lot.
You're liking this time, aren't you?
Oh, Ali, where I come from, like Roberts Creek, our bumper sticker is "Slow down, you're on creeker time."
Yeah.
I'm hit face with all this puzzle. I'm totally okay.
Yeah.
And then, the edges of dealing with being okay, and then also processing and being compassionate and honest. But mostly just really good. And just super happy to check in here with you awesome ladies. And like you said, like not a lot of my day-to-day has changed. I've checked in with the people that I check in regularly with, like my parents, my sister, but I call them anyways to see how they're doing. And then there's like just an edge more, like these things popping up, but not too much. And I did like a little shamanic, hour and a half thing today, just little stuff like that. It's been really nice. And I don't know. I'm enjoying it. There's a lot of plays that are going on that like there's sequences of teachings in my life that kind of have always shown me these things. And I'm just having little aha moments that are just but really comfortable in the speed of them. And even like earlier today, I was just got that message and she's like, just maintain pace. Like just keep doing what you're doing, you know, and in those moments. And yeah, so I'm just happy and transitioning and processing, and it's a pleasure to be here, and you ladies are amazing, and it's nice to hear your voices and see your faces.
Oh, it's nice.
Nice
We're triggering another call. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. We might wrap it up if no one else has got anything else. If you're happy.
I got some kids to put to bed.
Yeah, no, that's good. All good to go. Cindy, how are you going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
You good?
good.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Relaxed and sleepy.
Yeah, anytime holler at us, and thanks for sharing your story. Very vulnerable and totally appreciated. We love you as you are. Just need to see yourself.
Only
through
I
our
do.
eyes. Yeah, no, that's what I said. If only you could see yourself through our eyes.
So funny.
Thanks, Tanya. I've got those jars sitting at the door for you. And Gabrielle, thanks for organising again.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank
love.
you. Al. Thanks, guys. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, beautifuls.
Till the next one.
Amen.